like the downfall of Patton Oswalt is one of these things that has affected me personally as a comedian, as a man who cares about comedy, and as someone who honestly grew up listening to Patton's stand-up. I mean, 10 years ago, I don't know if grew up was the term, but it was certainly a major part of my life when I was first getting into comedy, getting into writing comedy, trying my hand at stand-up. I would listen to Patton Oswalt's comedy, and frankly, it was great. This was a guy I really related to, kind of a chubby, dumb loser. You see a little myself in this guy, and I was like, oh, if this guy can make it happen, then maybe there's hopes for guys like me. And unfortunately, Patton has gone down the woke hole. He's a good guy now. He's on the right side of history. And unfortunately, it seems like when you're on the right side of history, you stop being funny. I want to remind everybody real quick, before we get into this story, and don't forget to subscribe, click that button down there. But before we get into this story, I want to make the argument that Patton Oswalt used to be funny. Whenever I think of Patton Oswalt, for some reason, I always think of this classic bit where he's talking about how, he did the voice of the rat in Ratatouille, and a kid comes to his house for Halloween, and they go, oh my God, why does your voice sound like that? And he goes, well, you're in my skin right now. You're wearing my skin, and it's very creepy that the kid's dressed as Ratatouille in the way he's explaining it. And then he just has this random phrase, which just has always stuck with me.
And that is like a step away from, does this washcloth smell like chloroform to you? What do you think? Doesn't it smell like chloroform? Take you down to Uncle Touchy's naked puzzle basement.
I don't know why. Just that phrase is perfect.
Uncle Touchy's naked puzzle basement. You won't wear a shirt and you'll cry.
That's just a good joke to me. That's one of my favorite Patton bits, and maybe you're thinking, well, that's stupid as hell. I don't care. Patton was great, and something happened. At some point, I mean, look, I'm just theorizing. I don't know exactly what happened, but let me give you my theory. My theory is that Patton was getting jobs in Hollywood, as a lot of these guys do. And I saw a tweet from Shane Gillis. I don't know if you know of Shane Gillis. Comedy writer, comedian who got fired from SNL for making jokes that were too offensive. And he said the dream of every comedian is to live long enough that you become a washed up, toe-the-line jerk who doesn't care about comedy anymore and is just trying to protect his career in Hollywood. Because that seems to be what's happening with Patton. Is that he would never joke about, I mean, that's basically a joke about, sexual assault, child molestation, whatever you want to call it. He's not making those jokes anymore. Somebody earlier posted a joke where he said transvestites are just clowns who went one step too far. You're not going to hear those jokes from Patton anymore. Why? Because he's got jobs, he's on sitcoms, he's in movies, whatever else. And he's got to protect that bottom line. Not only that, though, I mean, I think he doesn't want to make those jokes anymore. I think that when you get into these Hollywood butt-sniffing circles, you forget what used to be funny. You're getting a lot of lectures about who you are the moral backbone of America, and you have to set an example for everyone else. And comedy goes out the wayside in favor of preaching to the good people and spreading the good word of progressiveness and whatever else. Which I feel like I always have to bring this up on this channel. I love progressive values. I love diversity. I love, taking a look. There are some things now that we used to joke about where I go, oh, that's too far now. We've evolved as a people. All right, there's certain slurs I don't use anymore, and I'm totally on board with a lot of it. But I also feel like we're losing comedy to a lot of this scolding and, censoring and looking over our shoulders. And let's take a look. I mean, this is what they're mad about. They're mad at Dave Chappelle, right? We know this. They're mad at Dave Chappelle, and here's Patton Oswalt. Wow, Instagram, what a terrible... Can I see the picture bigger than a freaking thumbnail? I'll get the picture on his Twitter. Basically, Patton, and this is a great little story. It's such a great little story. Patton was doing a show. Actually, I think he tells the story better on his Instagram, which I don't know why it's so small. I finished me set. I assume he meant my set. At the Mikka Hall. I don't know where that is. And got a text from Dave Chappelle. He says, come on over to the arena. I'm performing in next door into a guest set. Why not? And I got to say goodbye to this Hellier with a genius I started comedy with 34 years ago. These guys have been friends 34 years. What a fantastic friendship. He works an arena like he's talking to one person and charming their skin off. So Patton, I mean, let's be clear, Patton's not, as big a draw as Dave. I honestly, and I don't hate that this guy still has a career. I still think that Patton's probably kind of funny. I don't like a lot of his recent jokes, again, because he doesn't seem to be willing to push the edge. But God bless him for being out there working his ass off. And Dave does this great thing and says, why don't you come open for me? Look at this. He sold an entire arena Dave can sell out. I don't know what, venues Patton's playing, theaters probably. I'm not saying he can't draw a crowd. But to go to your buddy and go, hey, can you come? I have, 10,000 whatever people packed in this arena. I want you to open for me. We're going to kick in the new year together. This is like a beautiful moment. This is legitimately beautiful. And I am very sad. I'm very sad. I'm sad. I went into this story like wanting to rip on Patton, but now I'm sad because I feel like he's a man who's just like being torn between wanting to be true to the craft of comedy and this mob that just wants to destroy anyone who steps on a line for a second. Because Patton said on Instagram and Twitter, I did a show with Chappelle, saw my great friend of 34 years. What a wonder. I can't believe we're at this point in our lives. We both made it, and we're both so happy. And immediately, you get these people. This is such a bummer. Not sure if you're aware of the controversy or just stand on the wrong side. Some verified comic person. I understand valuing your friendship, but understand that people, you've hurt people that deserve better. Read through those saddened and those defending. Oh my God. Throwing the marginalized under the bus isn't how you achieve class consciousness. As a trans person and a fan of your work, this is extremely disappointing. Dude, like, and you know what I want him to say to these people is I want him to go, I had a beautiful moment with one of my greatest friends, and we don't agree on everything politically, but we had a beautiful, beautiful moment, and I'm so glad I got to share it with him. And fuck any of you who think that because we have a political disagreement that I can't stand by my friend and I can't celebrate what we have together. Did Patton do that? No. Patton, I mean, I'm going to be charitable. Patton did this wishy-washy... What he should have said... Can I make this picture bigger, please? What is going on here? What he should have said is, fuck you. He should not even be answering to these people, but he feels like he's forced to. So he's got this picture. I hope this isn't him sitting down to write this essay that he put together. Because the man has basically written an essay apologizing. Now, it's not an apology like, oh, I'm never going to talk to Chappelle anymore, but it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to change his mind. I'm going to make him a better person. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, here's what Patton said. I saw a friend I haven't seen in a long time this New Year's Eve. We've known each other since we were teenagers. A fellow comedian, one of the funniest I've ever met. I wanted to post a picture, and I did. I was so happy. 34 years we've been friends. He's refocused and refined ideas a lot of us took settled about race and history and life on planet Earth and spun them around with a phrase or punchline. That's an excellent point. That we forget about a lot of the good that Dave did. Because Dave's comedy, honestly, was enlightening for a lot of people on a lot of racial issues. Chappelle's show was watched by a lot of white guys. It was extremely popular among college-age white guys. And I think it might have even helped elevate some sort of racial consciousness to be like, hey, here's some of the shit black people have to deal with. I'm making fun of it, but it sucks. I think there was some of that. I think comedy gets to the heart of issues. I think people forget that what Dave did was very hugely beneficial to, I don't know, some sort of not racial harmony. He didn't fucking mend the world with a rainbow bridge, but it did elevate something. I learned things about black culture I would not have known without watching that show. Anyway, we've done good and bad gigs, open mics, TV tapings. And here's where he throws them under the bus. But we 100% disagree about transgender rights and representation. I don't think you guys 100% disagree, first of all. Patton. I think if you are actually listening to Chappelle, you guys maybe have like a 20% disagreement. Chappelle's going, listen, I hear what some of these biological women are saying, and I understand their concerns. Okay, that's not the whole issue. That's a part of the issue. I want trans people to live safely as their fullest selves, and for all the things that Dave has helped me evolve on. I always disagree with where he stands on transgender issues. But I don't believe a seeker like him is done evolving, learning. You know, someone that long see the struggles and changes, it's impossible to cut them off. I've been carrying a lot of guilt about friends who have cut off, who had views with which I couldn't agree, and sometimes I wonder, did cutting them off make them dig in their heels deeper, fuel their ignorance with a nitro boost of resentment and spite? I'm an LGBTQ ally. Well, you're not enough of an ally. You forgot the 2 and the plus, Patton. How much of an ally can you be if you forget the 2 and the plus, you bigot? I'm a loyal friend. There's friction in those traits. Look, I'm not going to read the whole thing. The point is, I naively deleted a lot of posts in the comment thread, critical ones from LGBTQ writers and shit posts by TERFs/anti-trans orcs looking for clicks and giggles. I wanted a nice comment thread about the pick with my friend. It's so easy to think someone else needs growth and miss the need in yourself going to keep trying. So basically what he's saying is Dave Chappelle is wrong, and I'm going to fix him. And you guys root for me as I change Dave Chappelle's mind, because he is acting like a stupid bigot. He's in league with the evil TERFs, and you guys got to trust me that I'm going to fix him. So this is and I apologize for shutting you guys down when you criticized me. You know, because I guess, you know, a lot of these people were coming at him. We read some of their posts, and he was hiding them or deleting them or not paying attention to them, being like, hey, leave me the fuck alone. I just had a beautiful night with my best friend of 35 years. How dare you attack me in this time? And then he realized that doing that puts his fucking job at risk and makes it, oh, he's not the good guy anymore. So he's going to go, oh, you know, you guys are right. I'm sorry, you know, flew off the handle. No, Patton, buddy. You know what you tell him? You tell him, fuck you. Tell him, fuck you. I've been friends with this man for 35 years. I understand that you have a political disagreement with him, and that you've somehow invented in your mind that everybody wants to kill you or erase you or whatever else. So I was arguing about this with somebody about J.K. Rowling today. They're like, oh, just the genocide she has, you know, inflicted on the trans community. I'm like, genocide? Genocide? How many trans people did J.K. Rowling kill in between writing those Harry Potter books? How many? Okay, there is no genocide. There is no murder. No one wants to kill you. No one wants to erase you. Okay, we're just having a very common sense debate about some very complex topics. Some of which I like. Again, I always bring up. You got a male offender, and he go in prison. He goes, "I want to be a woman now. Transfer me to the woman's prison." You just say yes, because we've been doing that. And then I read a news article the other day that says like half the guys who get out of women's prison go back to being men immediately. Seems like a loophole. Seems like a smart loophole. Do we need to do anything about it? Is it really causing trouble? I don't know, but we should talk about it. And we can talk about it in a way that isn't, Dave Chappelle is going to kill us. J.K. Rowling is going to kill us. Patton Oswalt, you're in league with a murderer. How dare you? Like, this is an insane conversation. All these people going at Patton are just sad, petty losers. And this is why Twitter is ruining the world. Is that one dumb, stupid check mark can go, this is a bummer. This is a bummer. Did you guys see what Patton posted? Patton's part of the problem. He's one of the bad ones. Patton has done nothing but fucking suck up to you people. I hate to say it. This man has ruined his comedy career by refusing to joke about anything for you guys. And he takes one fucking selfie with Dave Chappelle, and you go, I'm just so disappointed that you would throw marginalized communities on the bus. And again, I don't know how to get this through people's heads. Because I'm getting these comments on my videos where they go, well, you're like a conservative now. You're like an angry conservative who doesn't care about anything. I fucking understand. I understand that marginalized communities exist, okay? I understand that trans people are fighting for certain rights that, yeah, I do want to figure out what bathroom you guys use. I get it, okay? We can't just bring you into you can't not have a bathroom. I understand that, okay? We got to sort all this shit out. Okay, and I want to make sure that nobody fires you because of your fucking identity. You should be able to have a job. You should be able to have health care. You should be able to everything. I want it all. Trans rights, human rights, all of it. That's what you people, but that's what drives me nuts that you guys don't understand is that when I go, but I want Dave Chappelle to make jokes about you because some of you are fucking insane. That's not from a point of hatred. That's from a point of some of you are fucking insane. And we're going to joke about it, and you can't stop us. Okay? I'm sorry. I don't know what do you want me to do? I like trans people. I want to love you, but when you tell me J.K. Rowling is murdering you, like mowing you down in the streets with a machine gun, am I supposed to fall to my knees and weep? I find myself laughing because it's a comical assertion. What point do I want to make? Point I want to make is this: what are we doing? Can we just let comedians make jokes? Can we let comedians of 35 years, best friends, do a little New Year's Eve show and like, look, me and my best friend, I don't know if they're best friends, but clearly friends of 35 years. Let him have this fucking moment. Don't lecture the man into the ground. And Patton, fuck you for letting them do that to you. You're a grown-ass man and you're letting a bunch of trans teenagers on Twitter tell you you're problematic. Tell them, you know what? I don't give a shit anymore. Good. I'm problematic. I'm friends with the evil black man. Cancel me. Like, just stand up for something for once. Not this, I'm gonna fix Dave. Oh, I'll write you guys a little essay about how bad I feel. This is nonsense. What's wrong with you people? So Patton apologized. How do we feel about it? How do we feel? You know how I feel? I don't like it. Why do we gotta apologize to everybody all the time? Why? Why is it constantly forcing celebrities to apologize? It doesn't accomplish anything. We don't move forward on any issues. But maybe you disagree. Let me know in the comments. We got more cool videos coming soon. Again, you subscribe down below. You're going to have a ton of fun. And, Patton, I like your old stuff, man. The new stuff's a little too fruity. I don't like it. Sorry.